I've read a book by Charles Eisenstein about the gift economy, which is about transforming our current system of money and currencies into an economy based on offering gifts and receiving gifts, which is exactly the same thing that we, for example, long for in terms of love. Receiving unconditional love, and the even more, being allowed to give unconditional love. And I'm so much looking forward to this future of gift economy. So beautiful. And here's what I would like to add to a path of how can we transform on the global level and on the individual level. How can I contribute something to this transformation of the global money system into a gift economy? Because what I learned in shadow work is, if I am afraid of the problem, I unconsciously hold onto the problem. How I translate that to the transformation into the gift economy is, I think at the moment, a lot of us, for example me, resonate the even more with the gift economy because we are afraid of being the losers in the current money system. And that is the problem. The problem is, I'm afraid of having not enough in the current money system, which is true because the current money system is producing injustice and poverty and suffering, of course. And still, if I would be able to meet the current system that organizes injustice and suffering with a nervous system that is not afraid of the suffering, but that can stand with the whirlwind and the intensity of the energy that is trapped in every field of suffering, every topic of suffering around the globe, I would make it more likely to transform. Because if I step into shadow work, I'm not stepping into the story of what I feel ashamed for or what has been my secret until now. I step into the energetic field that otherwise stays there as a hidden charge and doesn't provide this high level of energy that I certainly need in order to transform, and that I certainly need as my new 24/7 normal. All of us want to live in a high level of energy, and we are depleting ourselves by not using the energy sources that are hidden in shadow topics. So if you think you can afford that, then play with, can you meet the current suffering in your own life and around, coming from financial injustice and a money system that is based on structural violence? Can you meet the suffering around without being afraid in terms of avoidance? It doesn't provide more knowledge to how to transform that and how to have an action plan, but it provides you unleashing your own energetic contribution to the past. So let's say somebody like Charles Eisenstein, he somehow has written an insanely intelligent book. It has been a bestseller. It's a bestseller and long seller around the world. So let's say the path of words is saturated. Maybe not also by him, or only by him, but there are like thousands of thinkers and thousands of theories and useful methods. And they are all ready and waiting for us to apply them. So what we can add to this field that is already standing on the shoulders of giants is our own energy. And do not start now with, oh, what is my energy? Your energy is moving the world this way or another way around. Your energy is moving the world. So let's stop underestimating ourselves, because otherwise global change will not be fun at all. If we are still, can I please be a miserable sinner and change the world? No. Either you have to step into the courage of facing that you are insanely powerful and pretty perfect and awesome and change the world and have fun and deserve everything. Or you choose the path of staying in the illusion of being a miserable sinner. But there is no compatibility between these poles, just to be clear. So, I can contribute to the global change and healing of the money system, transforming itself from the inside out into a gift economy, that I lose my avoidance pattern around the status quo. And in a very practical thing, if you feel afraid of having not enough money, there is a YouTube video by a pretty awesome guy who is afraid and then shaking. I think it's a long seller on YouTube. However, there are so many invitations, for example, on my YouTube channel, in so many resources, trembling, shaking, whole body vibration when you feel afraid. So can you do this experiment? When you feel afraid for your own finances, being afraid of living in poverty, starving because you stop functioning in order to try getting alive, stand up and shake. Do not know how to tame the demon of being afraid. Stand up and shake. Stand up and shake. Again, if you're watching this video on YouTube, you just have to scroll down and you find shaking instructions on my YouTube channel. But it's not about that. You will find that everywhere. Just stand up and shake with your whole body. Shake with your soul. In other words, hand your shaking over to the fear and allow the fear moving through your nervous system. If you're meeting the suffering from somebody on the street, not having had enough money to sleep in the warmth, and you do not know what you can do, then what you can do is avoiding that as little as possible. Warm this person with inhaling the suffering. And it's not difficult to inhale the suffering of the globe when we are fast with knowing what to do or whom to blame. Especially whom to blame, it's even better than knowing what to do. It's way better in terms of comfort zone. Do not blame somebody for this person to be shivering with cold and do not know what to do before you stood there offering a 5-minute shaking prayer with your whole body and your whole soul, just for adding pulse, 3-dimensionality to this suffering island. It's such a practical thing. And it will work underneath of action plans that you can see. But it will work faster. At the moment, I'm saying that I'm certain that it will work faster. How? I cannot make that visible because the path of energy has become invisible to our conditioning. The moment you recover from conditioning, you will see how it works. Or the moment that you recover from conditioning, you are in the position of proving me that I'm wrong. Get yourself into the position of proving me that I'm wrong. I would be honored. I would be honored. I would be honored to be taught by you. At the moment, I'm certain. The path of energy will work faster, and you will perceive the change in the inner and outer world faster than you expect, with more sense of this is real than you expect. And just another thing around the path of action plan and what to do because somebody wasn't warm enough in the last night. We see a lot of action. And the more action the more busyness we witness in ourselves and on the global level and in the business world and everywhere around, the less we can witness change. Being busy is a symptom of a society educating us to exhausting ourselves in order to make sure that everything stays the same. If this globe is changing, it's changing from the lazy ones. That's shadow work. Celebrate those ones who manage to be lazier than you. Cheer their laziness on. It will save your ass if you are exhausted, depleted, and functioning. And that's so bitter. Because all of us thought that we are exhausted and depleted and functioning because our suffering would get us anywhere. Because our suffering would ensure us, would guarantee us some kind of right for happiness. And the opposite is true, and that's so bitter. And I'm not saying that to you, I'm saying that to me, being in an exhausted state right now, myself. I got myself there into an exhausted state because I believed that it would make it more likely for anything inside or outside to change. And again, I just was wrong. Life is offering me all solutions in the world, but the thing I have to let go of is that I would have to earn it. So if we keep being guilty for the global suffering that we definitely caused, if we keep feeling guilty, we keep running from the solution. Test it. Wherever you feel guilty, you want the problem to keep going on more than you want the solution. Another thing that I could talk for decades about, I might do more videos about. For now, get yourself into the position, proving me that I'm wrong. The other option would be, let's stop being guilty for having caused so much global suffering. Let's stop being guilty. We do not stop being guilty because we think we won't show up with our responsibility when we stop feeling guilty, and the opposite is true. People who feel guilty show up with less responsibility and show up less. Because the truth is that in our essence, showing up for our full responsibility needs our full self-love. And then we will see the global suffering. We see that we caused it. We see why we caused it. And I could say I know why, but that's not what this video is about. I will say why, but not now. And it will be our joy. It will be our ecstasy called work, and work called ecstasy. It will be a pleasure kiss to surrender to the solution. We will activate our bodies. We will work. We will be very active and very effective.